again. Annabelle Cabela and Prairie here. Thank you so much for joining us. Today's lesson is jam-packed, but more exciting is the fact that in the next two lessons we're going to be getting in the round pen, where we'll actually be covering the fundamentals of groundwork, which is crucial and what you need to have a very firm grasp of before you ever actually get on the animal. Before we can get all to that, we do need to be on the same page regarding terminology and understanding. At the end of this lesson, you'll know the meaning of words like desensitization, impulsion, and flexion. By now you've probably gathered that the techniques I'm teaching you have been termed natural horsemanship. Natural horsemanship is not something I invented. In fact, it's so old that it's actually becoming new and hip again. To put it in simplistic terms, natural horsemanship is obtained naturally through direct communication, understanding, and psychology, whereas normal horse training methods are sometimes obtained through mechanics like intimidation, fear, etc. So as far as I'm concerned, the horse is one of Mother Nature's finest animals, even if they can be nothing but attitude on 4 feet sometimes. So it only makes sense that they would provide a superior methodology to communicating with your equine. To reiterate, natural horsemanship is the philosophy of working with horses by appealing to their instincts and herd mentality. It involves communication techniques derived from watching the horse in his natural environment with his herd so that you can closely emulate the relationship that exists between horses in their natural environment. The human must be knowledgeable of the horse's natural instincts and communication systems and use this knowledge to work with their equine. So if you did your homework from last week and studied your horse in his environment, you'll have a better grasp of what you, as a trainer, must do to communicate correctly with your equine. Horses are extremely quick to form a relationship of respect with humans who treat them in this fashion. The results can be extremely remarkable. Firm but fair is a wonderful mantra to live by, so please be careful not to confuse dictatorship with partnership when training your equine. Leadership comes in all different flavors, and you want to be sure that you have one that tastes just right for both you and your horse. In each partnership, there are expectations as to how each member will behave. There is an understanding or a code of ethics between the two people, or in this case, horse, involved in the partnership. Your job is to make the horse want what you want, so you can both enjoy a mutually symbiotic and professional relationship. All professionals practicing natural horsemanship will agree that teaching through pain and fear does not result in the type of relationship that benefits either you or the horse. Timing is everything, and you as the handler need to be very aware of this. Base your techniques on the principles of reinforcement rather than physical force. Emphasize the use of groundwork to establish boundaries and set up proper and clear communication with the horse. We're going to focus on complete communication with the equine through groundwork before we ever actually get on the animal. In this lesson, we're going to cover everything that you need to know in order to be proficient and successful once we get in the round pen next week. Now, excellence with horses and a strong lifelong partnership is what we're all striving for with our horse. There are 6 keys to making this happen, and we'll cover all of them in the future lessons in good detail. I'd just like to briefly discuss each one of the points as follows. The 6 keys are, number 1, attitude. You have to have a natural attitude. You want to be extremely positive, and you want to be in tune with your horse at all times. People who are positive, progressive, and who believe in the natural point of view of the horse will find success in their horse training. Knowledge is the 2nd key. That's why you're here. You have to have knowledge of how your horse works, how your horse thinks. Now, most people think just like people, and that's okay unless you're in the round pen with your horse, and that's a whole different ballgame. Tools is number 3. Again, we've got your back on this one. You've got to have tools that work, and you have to have them work naturally with the horse. You can't tell a natural horseman to do something with tools that he doesn't utilize. You can always tell a natural horseman by the tools that he uses, and you can also tell him by the tools that he does not use. Technique is number 5. This simply refers to mastering your tools and practicing them as much as you can. This in turn forms your natural technique, which is key to success. Number 6 is time. Take all the time it takes. That's what I like to say. Take the time to do it right or don't do it at all. Imagination is also key to success. You have to have imagination to be successful. You have a right to exercise it. Now, these are the ingredients that will ensure your success with your equine. For starters, I'd like to cover 10 qualities that every horse person and his horse should possess. There are many types of people who interact with equines, but not all of them are equal. Equestrians have a good working knowledge of the horse, and they are good riders, but neither of these necessarily equates to a horseman. My definition, borrowed from Pat Pirelli, one of the greatest horse whisperers of our generation, is as follows. A horseman is someone who is a good rider as well as a horse lover. He or she is knowledgeable as any equestrian and can share that knowledge with the horse that he rides. Now, that's what I believe a true horse person is. So how do we accomplish this? Well, there are 10 traits that you and your horse as a team should possess that will help you to get there. The first half of a trait is heart and desire. Now, this is a trait that both the horse and the human need to possess. We've all heard glory stories about a horse that runs faster and jumps higher out of heart and desire, but as the rider, we need to be able to communicate to the horse that he needs to do what we want him to do, and we need to have him love his human. A true horseman will do everything he can to pass on this to his horse.